Hello, my name is Johnny Knoxville, and these are my thoughts on Dale Watson. I met him through Mike Judge, I believe, in Austin, Texas, a long time ago, probably over 20 years ago at least. We went to shoot pool, and then he came to my house in Los Angeles a little bit after that. We started hanging out, and then he calls me or texts me from the airport and goes, "Hey, I just wrote a song about you." And he wrote the Hollywood Hillbilly about me. And like from my house to we've been hanging out, drinking all night and shooting pool. And yeah, he wrote a song very quickly and a damn good one. But after I met him, I was like, wow, this guy's fantastic. And it's because it's rare you hear new country and go, that guy's really good. I just love his music and so happy he's making it.
Well, music got a hold of me because I grew up in a musical family, and it just kind of, came natural. I grew up in Pasadena, Texas. That's I consider my hometown, and because that's where I got all the trouble. But the honky tonks, playing them very early on. When I was growing up in Pasadena, I was playing in the bars, and there they wanted you to do the top 40 stuff. But at that time, we're talking about the late 70s, early 80s, it wasn't that bad. The mainstream wasn't that bad to me. There was still George Jones, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, all these guys that I loved. And they didn't want you to do your own music in these bars. So I went out to LA just on a visit, and I seen all these places where people were able to do their own music. And I thought, this is for me. And so I tried it, and I liked it. And I got signed with a record label out there because, like I said, you're able to do your own music. But Texas is way more open to you doing your own stuff. If you can find an audience here in Austin. It's different from anywhere, especially musically. If it wasn't for Austin, I wouldn't have grown and had the career I had.
I met Dale Watson in 1987. He had come out to California with his girlfriend just for a couple days visit. His girlfriend Eve was good friends with Rosie Flores, and she said, "Hey, do you want to have dinner with these guys?" And so I said, okay. I went over to Rosie's house, and I walked into the house, and there was Eve, and then here comes Dale Watson. "Hey, partner, how you doing?" And he just shook my hand, and we started really riffing on all this stuff. "Oh, you like that stuff too? Oh yeah, you got that record?" So we were hitting it off really, really well. We left there, we went to some other bar to have something to drink, and it's me and Dale talking about everything. And he was like, "Man, I love California, this is great." And I said, "Well, if you ever want to come out here or move out here," I said, "just give me a call." Like 3 weeks later, I get a call. He said, "Hey man, I'm moving out to California. I hope you can help me out." I said, yeah, come on out. I'll get you squared away." So I had him play guitar with me on some gigs so he would have some work and then he could meet other people and club owners and stuff. After Dale moved out here, we were doing gigs together. He started hanging out with me and some of my buddies, Vince and Rico and stuff. And we'd go to a club and I'd show up on my 46 Indian Chief. And he was like, "Man, what is that thing?" So he got really excited about the bike. Everybody had like some kind of a Harley, and I had the Indian. And he was like, "That's the bike, that's the one, that's the cool one." And I said, you want to try to ride it?" "Oh yeah, okay." So he got on it and took it down the street. And it was tough for him to do it because it had foot clutch and everything. But he came back and he was hooked. I think that was it.
I think I probably wouldn't have started riding motorcycles if it wouldn't been for the movies. I saw The Wild One. And I loved that bike, and I wanted to get that bike, and I finally got a bike just like that Triumph. And and after that it was, always had to have a bike. I've had all these British bikes, and I even had Indian Spirit, which is before you get to the Chief. And when I got the Chief though, it clicked. It was like, it fit like a glove, and it's been a love affair ever since. I've had this bike 25 years, 26 years. When, you know, when I first saw the Indian, the aesthetic of it, the big fenders with the Indian head, I wasn't sure how the Indian would even ride, but I knew I wanted to ride it. I was hoping it would be a good experience, and it was right from the get-go. I think it's been pretty well known in Austin that bike is me. They've commented on the radios a few times. They say, there he is, that white Indian. So that's got to be Dale Watson. Indian and me go together like peanut butter and jelly. People know that when they see that bike, that I'm there. There you go. Wow, look at this. Holy shit. Look at this. This is even better than the picture I saw. This is amazing. You know, if I would have custom ordered something, even if the red and black, the scheme of it is exactly what I would have picked. It looks vintage to me. That's the thing. I'm all about the old look, you know. But I'm also that guy that I put a Bluetooth radio in my 1968 Ford, you know, and my 58 Edsel, because I want to be able to listen to my music and do my thing, and they've already done that too. The first Indian I ever rode was my friend Jim's bike. It was a 46 Indian Chief, and this looks just like it, but with new technology. It's your cake and eating it too. This is going to make life easy, you know, and comfortable, you know. I got an extra speed I could hit, extra gear, you know. Well, let's get this puppy on the road. Well, when I'm riding a motorcycle, it's more than a hobby. It's where I get my most peace, you know, and being able to ride and enjoy the scenery, because we got such great roads to ride here in Texas, and it resets my mind. The way I write songs is through driving, when we're on the bus or riding. It's a little trickier on the bike, so I have to pull over and sing into the phone what I'm doing. But that's the beauty about riding, though, is because you got less distractions. You get to enjoy what's around you, and you have to be more attentive. Yeah, it's very inspiring riding. I write a lot of music that way. Nothing like motorcycles riding. That's where I find my peace. My name is Dale Watson. I ride Indian motorcycles.